Hello and welcome to Howzzat. Was quite a Sunday last night, slightly disappointing for fans who expected both Kings 11 Punjab and Rajasthan Royals to score victories. There was disappointment in store for them because both sides did not play up to scratch and have bowed out of the tournament. Good morning, Vijay. Nice to have you back here. What are your memories from last night's games?
Yes, Rajaraman, one is obviously painful because not that I'm a huge supporter of Kings 11 Punjab, but I wanted the team to be in the playoffs. It's a very exciting team, a lot of good youngsters. But for me, the two standout moments were Jofra Archer getting Nitish Rana and then Pat Cummins getting Rian Parar. So these two deliveries just stood out from yesterday's match.
And then, of course, there was that great catch that Dinesh Karthik took to dismiss Ben Stokes. The ball catching the webbing, but he was in great position to take that catch and turn the match completely KKR's way. Was wonderful to see Dinesh Karthik take that catch after he had a very disappointing run with the bat this season. But his contribution last night was very, very significant, just as much as Pat Cummins's 4 wickets.
Yes, the catch definitely stood out. No doubt about that. I mean, it was a stunner. And also Rajaraman, Dinesh Karthik's own dismissal, where he plays forward and the ball goes to short mid on to a leg spinner. That was again a lovely dismissal, a lovely spinner's dismissal to watch.
Rahul Tewatia, it was, who bowled that leg spin to Dinesh Karthik. Unfortunately for him, he ended up on the losing side. Had a very memorable season after being traded off by Delhi Capitals to Rajasthan Royals. He did have a good season, Rahul Tewatia. But last night was all about Pat Cummins, Vijay. I mean, the way he was steaming in, the way he charged in to bowl with the new ball, that aggressive intent that KKR needed from one of its frontline bowlers to try and score a victory after Owen Morgan had knocked 60 plus and took the side to 190. It was wonderful to watch Pat Cummins bowl last night.
Yes, Rajaraman, and sometimes we ridicule these franchisees and their advisors for some selection when they in the auction when they spend such astronomical amount, and the Cummins was what 15 crore plus. So you would wonder, my God, so much on this one, just one player. But last night he proved it. Why? And if he continues to bowl like this, I think KKR would be in a very good position to go and grab the title because he was bowling like he was on fire. And after initially giving away runs, you see how strongly he came back. And like you said, he bowled as if he was bowling in a test match.
Robin Uthappa gifted his wicket to Pat Cummins. Had he played percentage cricket with that ball, having picked up 19 runs in that over already from Pat Cummins, that wicket would have boosted the fast bowler, no doubt about that. But it is very debatable what could have happened had Robin Uthappa played a little bit more sensibly than he did in finding the man at long leg with that flick.
Yes, yes. See, you have already. It's not that you have got so many runs in that over. There is that. Remember when the first six which he hit, there was no fielder there, and then a fielder was brought in. So Uttapa would have known, and he played a similar mode, just the way that he played the ball which went for a six. He played a similar shot, but he should have known there was a fielder there. And in any case, there was not much power behind the shot. He just walked into the ball, and so it was, I think, was a bit of overthinking on behalf of Uttapa.
It did give Pat Cummins hope that he could come back with the second over, and then he picked up 2 very big wickets, including Ben Stokes, thanks to that fantastic catch diving to his left, Dinesh Karthik. But any other day, it might have just flown to the third man fence for 4. But Pat Cummins really deserved those 4 wickets. And then he was the mastermind behind KKR's big victory that now sets them up in fourth place, Vijay. And they will be hoping for a couple of good results that will go their way so that they can get into the playoffs.
Yes, they can sneak into the playoffs. Yes, I mean they will obviously be hoping for favorable results, but we'll have to see the last two games how they pan out for Delhi and Hyderabad, both in with a very good chance. If you win and you move on, so it's in a, it's the tournament is in a really exciting phase now.
Two matches left, and I'm sure the KKR captain Ewan Morgan, who played a very, very good hand last night, scoring quickly and taking KKR to a winning score, he would be interested in what the other two results hold out for him and his side. But then he said that he's got his family, so he will only have the matches playing in the background. But it will be interesting to hear what Ewan Morgan has to say about these two games and about his own team's performance last night.
I think it's a matter of coming into a game today, no matter of the circumstances going on around that you can't control, like net run rate, and keeping things as simple as possible and focusing on winning the game and what it takes to beat Rajasthan Royals on any given day. And I think everybody collectively committed to that and their own game plan as well. Today we felt that there was no advantage batting or bowling first. The dew came early, and we seemed to post probably about a par score. I think the most impressive thing today was our collective bowling. I thought we were absolutely outstanding. Everybody from Pat Cummins's first over all the way through to Kamlesh Nagarkoti's final over really did commit and execute everything that we spoke about before the game. So given that we have given everything to our performance today, the mood in the camp is good, and regardless of qualification now, we feel that we've given everything that we have. I'll have it on in the background. My family's here, so I'll be spending some time with them and having it on in the background. But there's nothing that we can control in the game, so what will be, will be.
Last night, Vijay, it was interesting that KKR gambled. It was interesting that Steve Smith gambled with the dew, and unfortunately for him, the dew arrived early and put paid to his aspirations. His own bowlers struggled to contain Ewan Morgan.
Morgan was on a song. I mean, if you see, he came into a very difficult position and he had to play one innings. It made it kind of a blinder in keeping with his reputation. That's the way he bats, and he took the game away from Rajasthan Royals with the flurry of shots and all the sixes which he hit were predetermined. He knew he had to go for those big shots because to put up a big score meant to put up pressure on Rajasthan Royals because they too have a good batting lineup. So full marks to Morgan. I mean, he did play Morgan the captain.
And then this decision to bring in Andre Russell for the critical game, this was a must-win for KKR, and for Andre Russell to come in, score a few quick runs, and then head out. Didn't bowl a single delivery, but Andre Russell made his presence felt last night.
Yes, Rajaraman, the inclusion of Russell was very critical, and I love the way he muscles the ball. I mean, he's a right-handed Gale. He can play shots from nowhere. I mean, even good deliveries were dismissed. So that I think was a good inclusion last night for KKR.
To have been in with a chance to qualify and then to go out would have been heartbreaking for Rajasthan Royals. And let's listen to what Andrew McDonald, their coach, has to say about the journey in IPL.
Clearly today's performance was below par and below what we'd expect as a batting unit. And as you said, we've had some great performances in the last couple of games where we've chased high totals, and today we never really got rolling. I mean, to lose 5 wickets in the power play really puts you on the back foot. Generally speaking, 2 or 3's bad enough, but yeah, we never really gave ourselves a chance to get a foundation to chase down the impressive total that KKR put on the board. But as you said, unfortunately, that batting unit couldn't get the job done consistently enough. And that's not to say that the batting was the issue throughout the tournament. I think if you actually look at all 3 phases of the game, there was inconsistencies with fielding and bowling at times. So I'm not laying blame to one area of the game. I think all round we just weren't quite good enough when it counted.
Morgan's innings, of course, turned the match completely in KKR's favour, Vijay. But to start with a wicket of the second ball, Nitish Rana falling to Jofra Archer, and then to push the opposition down to 37 for 5 in power play was terrific for KKR.
Yes, showed the character of the team, and like you beautifully pointed out, wicket of the second ball, and to be reduced to 37 for 5 must have been a shocking for Rajasthan in the dressing room.
Here is one side which had its back to the wall and then showed character in winning a game that was a must win for it. On the other hand, in the earlier game, you got to see Kings 11 Punjab crumble under pressure. They knew they were on the cusp of qualification. They knew that they could make a good run and qualify for the playoff. But from 50 for no loss, they crumbled down to 150. Had it not been for a good half century by Deepak Hooda in the end, Kings 11 Punjab would not have had even 150 to defend.
Yeah, thanks to Huda, at least there was some match to enjoy. But Rajaraman, don't you think Chennai Super King fans must be wondering why did the team not produce this kind of cricket earlier? I mean, they played their best when they were knocked out of the race. Suddenly they're looking the team they used to be.
Let us hear Stephen Fleming first, and then we shall continue discussing this interesting question that you've just posed, Vijay.
We openly had some challenges around the balance of our side. We had some setbacks early on, players leaving and COVID. And we struggled really to find a combination that was suiting the conditions. And I go right back to the start. We played the first 3 games in each of the venues. And keep in mind, we're a team that wins around 72, 74% of games back in Chennai. So we're quickly trying to find a way to be effective in what is essentially away games. We did well in the first game, but then got exposed for the next couple of games. So we felt we had holes in the team, and then we set about trying to fill those spots based on form and limited exposure. And it just didn't quite click. And then tactically, some of the batting and bowling decisions with due and no due, we couldn't really work it out. And it was just the start of the tournament was just incredibly frustrating. But we got through well. We got through strong. And the fact that we were finishing on and up is testament to the players more than anything, that they were still committed to respecting the jersey and the franchise and desperate to finish the tournament well so that we can look back and say what if rather than what next. And we've got too many fans as well that rely on us doing well and want us to do well, and we had an obligation to do that, and the players were in a good enough space and tough enough to do that. We pay that.
It is quite an admission that when Fleming says that the team took time to understand the conditions in UAE, and then they did not have the right combination for much of the side. Of course, they were hit by Suresh Raina's withdrawal from the side just ahead of the tournament. Ruturaj Gaikwad was down with COVID, and they said they pushed him slightly early into the tournament. But then nothing seemed to go right for Chennai Super Kings. Dwayne Bravo, one of their superstars, was out of the tournament with injury, came in late and then was out of the tournament as well. Nothing went right for Chennai Super Kings. And when the pressure was off, they played like the Chennai Super Kings that we all know.
Yeah, the one big gain for CSK Rajaraman would be Ruturaj Gaikwad, man of the match for this game. And I'm surprised people are suddenly finding him very talented, but he's been around in domestic cricket for some time. So selectors know they have Gaikwad in their radar, as they say. But good for Gaikwad. He's come into national prominence now.
Yeah, he's a big story, isn't he? No, we couldn't play him earlier. In fact, we played him too early. The COVID really knocked him around. We knew how good he was from the time we've had the last 2 years, and the pre-season in Chennai was outstanding. One of the disappointments, obviously, was he got sick, and the fact that hung around for so long, people underestimate what it actually does to a player physically and mentally. We tried to get him into the game really early on, and looking back, it was probably too soon, so it wasn't effective. Not enough opportunity. We might have pushed him to get in there too quickly, and he just wasn't quite ready physically. And then you got to wait a little bit. Some doubts are cast, and you just got to keep trying to work with him in net practice, and there's limited practice matches. But we always had in mind that he was going to be a key player. The fact that he got sort of 4 games in a row and took that opportunity was testament again to his ability, but also the fact that we were right in what we saw in him. So we're really pleased for him, and obviously now he's a big candidate for us going forward.
It was good to watch him play that innings, very sensible. Each of his half centuries, and deservedly he's won man of the match every time. Each of his half centuries has been interesting to watch. shows a pretty calm head on his on young shoulder. The challenge that he might face in a higher level, we'll have to wait and watch how he copes with that. But he seems quite ready to take on any pressure that teams might impose on him when he's opening the innings.
Yeah, my good friend Surendra Bhave Rajaraman, if you remember, very unlucky not to have played for India. He always spoke very highly of this boy. And I can very well imagine now that why, because he is a good straight bat cricketer and he plays proper cricketing shots even in a T20 game. So, a full hats off to Bhave. He was one who saw this talent in this boy very early.
I was quite surprised, Vijay, that a team like Kings 11 Punjab could not soak in the pressure. Must-win game for them, obviously, and they knew that they would go out of the tournament if they lose this match. And to see them crumble the way they did, whether it was Chris Gale, whether it was Nicholas Pooran, they had made the right choices, leaving Glenn Maxwell out of the side, for example. But then the inability to handle pressure at the crunch situation was quite telling for Kings 11 Punjab.
Yes, that's the difference between a good team and a champion team. So they must have realized that they need to take that one step when they come back next season to in their quest to win their first ever title. But like we said in the show earlier, plenty of lessons to have the Kings 11 Punjab would have learned. The most important would be proper team selection and combination.
Would have been tough for KL Rahul to come and speak before the press last night, Vijay. Let's watch him speak to the media and then understand what he's gone through.
Yeah, it does. It does hurt. You know, we've obviously done really, really well to give ourselves a chance to qualify, and yeah, there's a lot to be proud of for us as a team. And yeah, I mean, would have been great if we could have got one more victory and qualified, but nevertheless, I think we did really, really well as a team to give ourselves a chance. And yeah, it hurts a little bit. Will hurt for a little while, but yeah, need to take the learnings and you know, come back stronger next year. As batters, we all knew that we had to put a big total on the board, and that was in the back of the mind, and we all knew it was a big game. So it's important that you know, we the only thing I think we didn't do well was soak up the pressure a little bit and stitch a couple of partnerships that would have really helped us. I mean, I got 20, Mayank got 20, 30 odd. So, you know, we need one of the top four to go on and get a big 70 or a big 80. That's when a team can post a total of 180 plus, which unfortunately didn't happen. So that's why, I mean, we couldn't get that 180, 190 score.
A big game for Delhi Capitals against Royal Challengers Bangalore. Both of them will want to ensure that they get to the second spot behind Mumbai Indians. Will be a good clash to watch. They both have not been in the best forms in the last couple of games, but it'll be good to watch Delhi Capitals against Royal Challengers Bangalore, and there is so much at stake.
I'm sure, Rajaraman, it's going to be a cracker of a contest for the simple reason that the winner moves up and the loser has to ensure that even if it loses, it manages to keep its net run rate beyond Hyderabad's reach, if possible. But the fact that the winner goes up is going to mean it's going to be a very, very exciting contest.
Before we come toward the end of today's Howzzat episode, Vijay, let us talk about what Swapnil Joshi has to ask. He's got a very interesting question for us. Here is Swapnil Joshi from North Stand Gang, Mumbai.
We had an IPL in South Africa and Middle East. Do you think it's worth a conscious decision trying to play IPL in conditions apart from India, like England and Australia, or ICC affiliated countries, just to promote the game, since IPL has the largest viewership around the globe? Can we have a mini IPL in such situation?
Well, the truth is that there is so much cricket happening. It's hard to find a window for IPL, and to find another window for a mini IPL is going to be a tough ask. International cricket is already a packed calendar, and I don't think it's a good idea to take a domestic league overseas. We don't hear of European football league being held in countries other than their own. We were primarily opposed to the fact that cricket moved to UAE. This was because of COVID this year. But the whole idea should be to popularize the sport in your own country. If it is a domestic league, it is best played in India. And I don't think it's a great idea to move IPL to foreign lands. When you have difficult situations like elections, for instance, where government then say that they can't provide the security cover for the tournament, that is when you perhaps have to move out. But otherwise, I don't think it's a great idea to think in terms of holding an IPL or a mini IPL outside of India.
Yes, Rajaraman, I'm sure Swapnil would love to sit in the Northern gang in Wankhede and follow his Mumbai Indians team than watch it on television. I'm sure Swapnil would be excited if the next IPL is held in India.
I think that's a very exciting thought indeed, Vijay. But there remains to be one last thing that I need to do before I let you go. You spoke of two deliveries at the beginning of this show.
The two deliveries which tested your batsman. That is Nitish Rana. He's been making runs, and you expect Riyan Parag. You're talking of his with awesome talent, but they were caught napping when they faced speed. What I'm saying is they were in a very poor position to play those deliveries, and it showed the difference between the class of the league they have and the next step. That is, when you play somebody like Cummins in a big game, this is how the ball is going to come at you.
I agree with you, Vijay. It kind of is a great school for young cricketers, especially the Riyan Parags of the world, to understand that the big league is quite different. He was backed a great deal by the Rajasthan Royals side. Last night, when he had the opportunity to make his presence felt, he was found wanting. But this will be a great learning for Riyan Parag, and I'm sure for Nitish Rana as well. And to see the kind of bowling that they experienced in this game will only make them better cricketers in the future, one hopes. Thank you very much, Vijay. It has been enjoyable conversing with you. Looking forward to tonight's game between Delhi Capitals and Royal Challengers Bangalore.
Yes, Rajaraman, thank you very much. Have a good day and very happy viewing Delhi versus Bangalore.